You're listening to the Cheeky Podcast for Moms with IBD, a safe space where moms with Crohn's and colitis connect, explore powerful tools for healing, and transform our lives to thrive in motherhood and in life. I'm your host, Karyn Haley, IBD health coach, integrative wellness enthusiast, and mom to 3 outstanding kids. After having Crohn's disease for 30 years and working as a health advocate exclusively with IBD clients for the last 10 years, I know it's time to bring the types of candid conversations I have with my clients out into the open. It's our time to go on an IBD healing journey and do it like only a mom can. Let's do this. Hey there, dear one, and welcome to another episode of the Cheeky Podcast for Moms with IBD. Have I told you lately just how much I appreciate you and how much I enjoy spending time with you each week? How cool is it? It's just so cool that we get to connect with each other every Wednesday over our shared journey of healing our Crohn's and colitis. And I don't know about you, but I think that's kind of rare and definitely awesome. So thanks for joining me on this journey, Mama. Today, it's going to be a little bit shorter episode than normal on the podcast. It's been a roller coaster of a week for me, and honestly, I'm kind of just hanging in there by a thread at this point. I told my husband the other day that I was afraid if he blew on me, I think I might just fall over and I wouldn't be able to get up again. But at the same time, I've got these thoughts that they're just running around in my brain. I feel like I can actually see them. They're running around in there. And they've been running around over and over in my mind since my mom died last week. And I just have to share them with you because I think it's helping me. I think these thoughts are helping me. And I really think it's going to help you on your IBD healing journey as well. Over the last few months, I watched as my mom's battle with liver cancer winded down after the most valiant fight I've ever witnessed. And during this time, these words and thoughts about what dying has taught me about Crohn's and colitis, they kept going through my mind. They would wake me up even in the middle of the night, and then they would stay with me as I moved through my day. Over and over, I thought to myself, I've got to share this with you. And I really think that these, I guess I'll call them epiphanies that I've had during this process of my mom dying, the ones I'm going to go over with you today, I really think they're going to serve you. So I want to tell you what death has taught me about healing IBD. And there's 3 things. So here's number 1. Now is the time to live well. I have to tell you, we have to put the emphasis there on now and well. Is your IBD preventing you from living well right now? You've got this incurable chronic illness, and that sucks. It brings your mood down. It slows you down from the things that you need to do. It might even keep you from saying yes to activities that you know you would enjoy. And today you might be 25 or 47 or 63 years old. And I'm going to tell you something that I used to hate when people would tell me. So you might have this visceral kind of hate reaction as well, but I'm going to tell it to you anyway. I used to hate when people my parents' age would say, they would tell me, your life will pass you by in the blink of an eye. But it's just so freaking true. In my mind, I'm perpetually 27. I don't know why 27, but for some reason 27 got stuck in my brain because at that time I was fairly newly married and the world was just waiting for me, waiting to be conquered. And I swear to you, all I did was blink and now I have a 19-year-old son. How the hell did that happen? And when you blink, just like I did, and many years have gone by, did you struggle with IBD that entire time? Can you imagine 20 more years of what you're going through right now? And on your deathbed, will you say, I did all that I could to live well now? And can you say, I slayed that IBD monster? 5 years ago when my mom was diagnosed with that dreaded C word, her doctor gave her 3 to 6 months to live. My mom told me that whether she had 3 months or 10 years left, she was going to make sure that whatever time she had, she was going to live it to the fullest. Just like we go to the gastroenterologist for our visits to the doctor, or maybe we take supplements or medications, or we change our diet to help our IBD, my mom did all those kinds of things for her cancer too. But even with that, we can still do all of those essentials and keep living our best life. My mom continued to play bridge. That was her big thing. After her diagnosis, she moved to a new community to be closer to me. There was no bridge group there, so what did she do? She started one. She learned also how to play mahjong. She had never played that before, but she learned how to play it. She wanted to, so she did it. She sat on the community council. She headed up the hospitality committee. She sang with the community choir. She did water aerobics. She even played poker every week with her friends. Every Wednesday night, they would play poker. And during the last 5 years, I kept saying to her, I kept asking her, do you think you're doing too much, Mom? Heck, her schedule was more packed than my schedule, but she kept on living. She made a choice to suck all the marrow out of life, and she did just that. Even though we have this chronic illness, and actually maybe even because we have this chronic illness, we must find a way to live now. For you, that might be joining a book club or taking a new course about a topic you've always wanted to learn about. It could be prioritizing date night with your partner or learning to cook gourmet cuisine. Or in these times of COVID, it might be something like finding time to binge watch Bridgerton or Schitt's Creek, two of my favorites. But if it brings you joy, whatever it is, it's worth your time. I know on my mom's deathbed, she wasn't saying, gosh, I wish I would have lived. No, because she did live. Don't let IBD be the reason you don't live. Number 2, the second thing I learned about IBD while I was in the midst of the death of my mom is that family is at the root of lasting healing. Physical, emotional, spiritual, mental healing, all the types of healing. And that word family, it means family however that looks for you. Family's not always the blood that we're born into, is it? Family is the people we choose, the people that we're there for, the people who are there for us in times of anxiety and stress, depression, pain, and especially vulnerability. The people who will tell us to take action when they just know we're stuck in fear. The people who don't take our crap and tell us that we're out of line. The people who we can cry in front of without fear that they'll hold it against us. For some, that support's found in their bloodline, and for others, it's found piece by piece. Now, for my mom, it was definitely the latter. She had a very rocky childhood. She was born legally blind in one eye. She endured countless eye surgeries to try and fix this defect, even all before she was 2 years old. She went through physical abuse, and she became a mother to her brother at a very young age. It wasn't until I witnessed the outpouring of support that came my mom's way during her last few months that I realized over the years, from her college days to her nursing career, to her days as a young mom with young children, to her retirement years in Florida, and then to her last years living in a senior community with my dad. All the while, my mom was collecting a posse of support. A family of sorts, people whose back she had, and people who had her back. Do you have a family like this? If you found this kind of family within your birth family, that's awesome. It's something to be treasured for sure. But if you didn't, don't wait any longer to find your tribe. And never underestimate the power they can have in your life to help you heal your IBD. Support is capital H, huge. Being able to talk to someone about the difficulties of IBD and then even celebrate the triumphs too, that's huge. We can have all the medicine and all the natural remedies in the world, but if we don't have our gal pals to cry and laugh with, the health isn't as meaningful, and the pain, it's twice as deep. And there's one more thing that death taught me about IBD that I want to share with you. And that's that the emotions like willpower, fight, attitude, and a belief in your healing plan, they do make all the difference in the world. When my mom was given 3 to 6 months to live, she told me, I have to laugh at this, but she told me, it's not my time to die. I don't care that they gave me 3 to 6 months to live. It's not my time to die. Even though the odds of liver cancer are pretty grim, and she was diagnosed with end-stage cancer, and she just knew that 3 to 6 months, it was not going to contain her fight. In the beginning, I thought, oh, bless her heart. Isn't she courageous? As we went on to one last trip, as we celebrated one last birthday, and we enjoyed one last moment. And then those moments, they just kept coming. And 1 year turned into another, and another, and another, and 5.5 years later. It wasn't until the end that I realized the treatments she was getting were helping, but it was her sheer willpower, her sheer determination to live, to fight, that kept her going all this time. Her doctors, they were always dumbfounded by her. They even created a research study behind what was going on, what was keeping her alive for so long. They marveled at her positive outlook that she had on life. Through bearing witness to this strength that she had, I realized that when it comes to IBD, a belief that you can heal is just as important as what method you choose to heal. Emotions like a positive attitude and finding gratitude in even the smallest of moments makes a massive difference for your health. Your willpower and belief in the healing journey you take can move IBD-sized mountains. It doesn't mean you won't falter along the way. And of course, when you do, you can always go back to the second thing I learned. Do you remember that? The family and support. Family and support is everything. But even when you falter, keep going. Don't stop. Keep the belief in your journey strong. It will get you through the dark days of this illness. So that's what death taught me about IBD. It taught me that now is the time to live well. It taught me that family is everything. It taught me that willpower is just as much a treatment as medicine or natural remedies. What about you? Do you have these beliefs in place? Is there one or two that I mentioned that you're still working on? Well, if my mom's death taught me anything, it's that there's no time like the present. What are you waiting for, dear one? Remember, you'll blink, you'll blink, and 20 years will have gone by. How will you look back on those years? With regret or with pride? Let's make the next 20 years a healthy 20 years, no matter what age you are right now. Years you'll look back on knowing you did everything in your power to keep your IBD in the shadows. I know that's what I'm going to do. Work in progress. Here I come. Until we chat again, I'm wishing you a cheeky and healthy IBD journey.